morning, viewer. It's nearly 6 AM in the morning. The sun is just coming up. The Monaco Grand Prix circuit is still open to traffic, so we're going to have a little jog around. Hopefully with a bit less traffic than last time. See last time. So here we go. I think the white lines on the floor are the normal car lines for normal traffic. I don't think they're the racing line like you get in Xbox. So here we are. Pole position at the Monaco Grand Prix 2025. Yes. And that is the view from pole into the first corner with a few trucks. Still can't see the podium, still hidden behind trucks. The start line. Let's go. And those are the starting lights on the gantry, found them, which will swing out into place. Whoa, this is busy. As I say, not even the sun up yet. So, past the Automobile Club, and there's Sanderbot. So the first problem of the day is the very fast and tricky Sanderbot corner. You can sort of make out the racing line from the marks that had been left by the Formula 2s and Formula 3s yesterday. So you're trying to avoid the barrier on the left. And you're trying to hit the apex, almost. Oh. So here's the apex. So you're coming from that direction, try not to hit the barrier on the right, trying to cut this apex as close as you can without actually upsetting the car, and trying to come off the barrier on the left with as little space as possible. The Sanderbot runoff. So this is called Sanderbot because Sanderbot is the patron saint of Monaco, and that little chapel there is the chapel of Sanderbot. A lot happens here on the Monaco National Day. Okay. Once we've negotiated the little, almost a bump. So you see a few people have already been hitting the barriers. That was just on practice. quite an interesting stand to see the race from, although it's pretty limited view. There is a big screen over there. Very in your face for Sandevot on the TV for the rest. Although possibly if you're on the very top of the stand, you can see back down over the port and down towards the Nouvelle Chicane. Anyhow, continue. Up Beau Rivage. Straight line it as much as you can, even though it does bend a little bit. And try not to touch anybody else. So we're heading for the truck in the far distance. See on the right there, they're sealing off the track. Sealing off bits of track. Another jogger. Unlike me, you'll probably get a breather going up that straight, up Beau Rivage. It is pretty much straight uphill, foot down, don't hit the walls. And then the world gets exciting again when you go over the crest and into Massenet. I bet nobody mentioned the crest here. Literally, Beau Rivage keeps going uphill and Massenet dips down a bit. Who would have thought it? So obviously we have to be more on the racing line here, so it's further off to the left. You can see the lines left by the yesterday's practice sessions. And there's a truck going the wrong way. Hopefully you won't see that on the race. So on the left here we've got a little sort of concrete ramp thing to helpfully remind you not to go into the wall, but you have to stay pretty close. Although it's almost like sort of two apexes. It's a funny sort of corner. So maybe you've got to hit the first apex, not the second. Presumably the first apex is this one. This is the side of the casino. And I believe that's the entrance to the Salle Garnier, the Monte Carlo Opera. Resplendid with crane in the sunrise. So, that's what I was saying. More of Massenet. It just keeps on giving. Not sure if you call it a sweeping corner or a double apex. Anyway. Casino Square, the famous. About as empty as you're ever going to see it. Unless it's snowing. Okay, once you got around Massenet, you've got to head for the right-hander, which is Casino Square Corner itself. Once again, almost brushed the apex. Look how close the tyre tracks are to the wall. So that's another recommended stand, this one in Casino Square. View of the big screens, view of the casino, and view of the Hotel de Paris. So, hit the apex, not quite literally. Then the profile's all over the place. Café de Paris. I should mention the Café de Paris as well. In a way, sort of the centre of Monaco, although Monaco, I guess, has several centres. Anyhow, more profiles for you to worry about. So if anything, I would say the Casino Square hill is still going up, and it peaks around here where you've got the turn off up there, which you don't take, and then it dips, but it doesn't dip for long, because then you've got the famous bump, which I talked about extensively in my last video. Oh, look at this. This must be one of the track sensors with this little box. So once we're out of Casino Square, we've got to hair it down to Mirabeau. I told you it was early in the morning, 8 minutes past 6. But if you want to do these things, you do them. So, bumpy, bumpy. All because of the road joining on the left, which nobody really realises is there when they're watching it on TV. But that's why we got this really strange bump, and lots of people will just go to the right here and totally flatten out the bump. As you can see, you can just about do it if you stay on this side, avoiding the white line, of course, especially if it's raining. The Metropole Hotel, mega hotel, very nice indeed. Now this is a corner we can overtake on. Stick to the right, and hopefully the guy in front will wander off to the left. Because of course you've got to pull out left to get around the corner. But if you pull out too far and if you brake too much, someone could nip down your inside. So look in your mirrors. You could well find there's somebody there if you leave a little bit too much space. The other problem, you can see the racing lane, you can see how people have gone far out to the left and then nipped in. So just about where I am now, this is where the crashes sometimes happen. Now this is our second runoff area. If you do get the corner totally wrong, you can carry on down there. Spin turn, if you're brave, because it's a dead end, obviously, and get back on track. So you hug the apex here. Hug, 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 hug. Many people have tried to overtake here and then ended up in the barrier on the left. See the marks here, we had a few crashes yesterday. A crash with the Porsche practices left an enormous pool of coolant liquid, which red flagged us for a moment. So down to the station hairpin slash Lowe's hairpin slash Grand Hotel hairpin slash Fairmont hairpin these days. I'm told it's the slowest corner in the whole Formula 1 season, and I can imagine that. And People actually need special steering racks just to get the cars around. I guess he knows he's going the wrong way. If you want to experience the circuit, actually the tunnel might be closed to traffic. Just to be clear, we're in Monaco. Okay, the hairpin. Stick as close in as you can, but remember you're on a bit of an angle, so it's very easy to lose the back end, and especially on the first lap it's very easy to cause a total bouchon, a plug in the circuit. Once you if you spin around, then you end up with blocking the racetrack, and those in front get a massive advantage, and those behind, they're not very happy. So short zip down into Portier. No, this is confusing. Is this Portier, or is the next one Portier, or is the whole thing Portier? Answers on a postcard or in the comments. We'll cross over here. Oh, it's a Ferrari. There's a not Ferrari thing in the way. So once again, we got this nice little rampy thing, so it's quite comfortable to take a bit off the corner. So you can see where we're coming from. Coming from that, the apex there, right on top of this, at least the barrier stop there, and you got a little corner. Stay to the right, but probably don't go on the pavement. That's probably totally not allowed. Into the new micro tunnel. This tunnel literally This tunnel literally was not here last year. I'm sort of surprised they haven't put lights in it. And Mr. Porsche. Isn't it strange? All the lights in the main tunnel, but no lights here. So as you can see from the tracks, stay to the right. Try not to touch this barrier. Going really quickly, you'll swing out to the left there, and try not to touch that barrier either. Should swap over. So we now come to the famous Monaco Tunnel. Terra, pretty much new this year. Beautiful, beautiful. So you have noticed that since Casino Square there's actually been no stands, no places to sit, no places to buy tickets. That's a lot of circuit. In fact, thinking about it, from Casino Square all the way down to the port, there are no places to sit. There you go. So, note all the lights. All the lights which are actually turned off at the moment, because the circuit is all open for the public. Let's scoot on a bit. You don't see that view very often. As you can see, the tunnel is quite a corner. One long sweeping right-hander. Very, very fast, but very, very blind. So you have to be very careful of all the signals and the marshals going through here. Because if there is a problem, you're not going to have long before you're on it. So I suspect the thing to do is to stay wide on the left midway through the tunnel and then try cut this apex just here onto the short straight before the yacht club. Bonjour. Sealing up the last of the holes. Once it's done, it's a rock solid ribbon of silver. Ribbon of steel, not silver. This is Monaco, but there are limits. Silver will be absolutely no use. Unless you're worried about vampires, of course. Then silver might be quite handy. But we digress. This is a long tunnel. So we blast out into the sunshine. So on the left here we have the Yacht Club de Monte Carlo. No, Yacht Club. The Yacht Club of Monaco. The Yacht Club de Monaco. This wasn't here 10 years ago. Relatively new building. Interesting thing is, because of the way it's designed, if you look at it from certain angles, it looks definitely like a ship, as I guess you would expect, it being a yacht club. They have all sorts of world-class yacht races here. It's another world. Exit of the tunnel. Road sweeper approaching. So 150 meters. This is an interesting area. There was a time when the profile was such that the cars had a serious risk of bottoming out because of the way the distance between the front and the back wheels. And I guess they've solved that now. But what could happen? You could come out of this tunnel, you could be so pressed down with downforce that you bottom out, you lose traction on the back, and it just slides, and you're just going along a straight road, and for no reason at all the back spins around, hit the barriers, and destroy your car into the Nouvelle Chicane. But that doesn't happen anymore, so either they've sorted out the right height, unless that's what these marks are, unless these marks are where people are bottoming out still. So we've had Formula 2, Formula 3 and Porsche supercars, so I don't know. Anyway, you will see that the racing line is far to the right. Just go see the racing line. Hugging the right. The reason you're hugging the right here is you've got that very, very sharp left into Nouvelle Chicane. Nouvelle Chicane built in 1986. So 20-year-old, 40-year-old Nouvelle Chicane, 40-year-old chicane. Some could say old Val Chicane, but we won't, because it's not a word. So you can see how people stay way, way over to the right, even at the 50-meter board. And this is another place where if the guy in front isn't going, is braking a little bit too much, you can nip down the inside. But if you do nip it down the inside, the problem then is getting around the corner, because you're very tight on the corner, apart from your problem being the car that you're overtaking. And he's got to be very, very aware that you might nip down the inside. So it's all a bit of a trick. Do not take it too wide, don't take it too slowly, don't brake too early. The usual. I have a video of Lance Stroll popping his tyre just here from last year. Don't hit that. So having negotiated the orange bit, you've then got to get around this guy, the yellow bit. Again, a bit of a bump, very handy for making the car fly slightly. They used to have a peg here, or a traffic cone, but it used to last like 3 laps, so I think they gave up with that. And this chicane keeps on giving, yet another little bumpy bit to avoid. And then you have this part, which is nicely themed with the Qatar Airways logo. Very close to here you have to be. If we look back on that, you'll see so you can see the rough layout, close to the edges, down by the river, well, down by the port. Yachts, yachts and yachts and yacht resupply. So, having successfully negotiated Nouvelle Chicane, we're heading now to Tabac. On yesterday's video, I couldn't remember the name of Tabac, would you believe? But of particular interest on our way there are the super yachts. Now all these yachts will move, I don't know, 10 meters off the edge for when the actual, I guess when the actual circuit is closed, certainly when the sessions are on, they move off. Because it has been known, well, I think it honestly only happened once, and it was certainly before these barriers. It has been known that the cars have crashed here and gone into the water. Although if you had some really nasty crash, you'd have boats sprayed with bits of Formula 1 car, which is not a good thing to do. So they move the boats off, and then they move them all back again, because this is where all the parties happen, all the corporate stuff. All that goes on these boats, especially at night. If we're really brave, I might come down at night and do a video. So, another relaxing dead straight before another challenging set of corners. So once again, we're trying to keep right for the left corner, so we can clip, not clip, be very close to clipping the hairpin, the apex on the left. Just look back where we came from. Nouvelle Chicane. You can just about see the yacht club in the distance. All the pretty boats. So this is the apex. We're trying to sneak past without touching. Very, very fast. Very, very fast. You can skip the apex, and then you can let it drift wide off to the right. So about where the lorry is parked. No, a lot further on. You come around there, you're probably hitting the apex more where the little van is. Hitting the apex. Drifting out to the other side where the little van is. So on the big speakers they have for the K stands. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention the K stands. The K stands, the biggest, most popular stands on the circuit. Now you can get a fantastic view, especially from high up, all the way down to Nouvelle Chicane and possibly out at the exit of the tunnel. And if you're really on the top row, you might well get the view down over the starting straight. However, there are trees in the way, so you've got to make sure you've got exactly the right chair which isn't blocked by a tree. Bit of a locals thing, I think. You're not going to work that out from the internet. And you get a nice big screen so you can see what's going on. So having just missed the apex over there and then slid across the road, just missing the Explorer Journeys wall, we have another apex into Louis Chiron. Collection of lorries. Again we have this nice sort of, actually this is not very nice at all, this is a bumpy one. Try not to hit this. And on the other side another bumpy one. See, the ones over by Portier are quite gentle. These are take the car off the ground sort of bumpies. So Louis Chiron, Monegasque racing driver in 1923 to 1956 or 58 I believe, until Charles Leclerc came along. Louis Chiron was the only person to have actually, the only Monegasque to have actually won the Monaco Grand Prix. The swimming pool, and the big building there is the Automobile Club's control centre for the racetrack. All temporary, all will disappear in a couple of months. So down on the T-bar you have the, I'm not sure what their stands are, what number they are. To be honest, not my favourite stands, although now you've got more TV screens here, so it's maybe better than it used to be in the old days. This is the back of the L stand. You'll love the L stand. So, not 100% sure what this corner is called. It's sort of the back of the swimming pool. Just wanted to show you this apex. This is a killer, an absolute killer. Wait for some quiet. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Okay, shut up. So you have to be super close to this tiny piece of Armco here, because after this you have to negotiate the red piece of plastic in the middle, which we'll go see. So super close on the right, super close on the left, but try not to fly over. You see how big this thing is? That's absolutely enormous. The Porsches literally take off there. And if you do take off there, by the time you land on the ground again, you're going to be in the Armco on this side. Another well-known place for crashing. So that was the swimming pool section. We're now heading towards Raskas. These are the tea stands. You have the tea bar, which is in the port. Could be the end stands on the tea bar. And then you have the tea stands, which is on this section here. Now this section here used to be a dead straight into the Raskas and lots of 90-degree corners. I mean, 40 years ago. But once they started to reprofile and redevelop this entire area, it turned into sweeping corners, big places for grandstands. That used to be a boatyard. Three levels. We've got the blue is the public place where you can buy tickets. The little cabins are the commentators, and the reds are the hospitality suites. Fantastic, massive hospitality suites. And the whole point of this stand, apart from the screens, is you have a view into the pit lane, which is up there. So you're not on the start straight, but you are looking straight into the pits, which is similar to most circuits' start straight stands. This is neat. See the tower? And then the cable. So they fly a camera along there. Sort of an early drone. What a beautiful day. So we come into Raskas. Raskas is not as simple as it looks. Raskas is double apex. So plenty of space, plenty of place to try overtake. So you can see the two apexes there almost. Now the Raskas is a brilliant place to watch the Grand Prix from, because you have TV screens, you have beer, and you have positions where you're right on top of the cars. So first apex, little bit of gap. And then the second apex, much tighter. All the marshals turning up for duty. They're gonna have a hot day. So you see all the barriers here. Raskas, because it's such a slow corner, another brilliant place to overtake. Keep on the inside, nip up the inside when the car in front brakes too early. Get it wrong, you end up in the barriers. But at least there are barriers. There is actually enough space to spin the car and stop without hitting the barriers, if you're lucky. A short zip up to Anthony Nogues, which for me is the hardest corner on the track. Totally. The profile, the tightness, probably a word for that. Not much time to between the two corners. This is actually an area where you find people slowing down, ready to dive onto the start straight to begin their hot lap. So you get a lot of traffic stuck here. Very unhelpful. The entrance to the pit lane. We won't be taking that today. Have a look at yesterday's video if you'd like to see all about the pit lane. And in fact all about the paddock down the side of the race gas. Another interesting area. So we have the V stand, which is right in your face, right on top of the track. And up there in the trees, there's the, I forget what it's called, there's an area where you can buy tickets to go sit in the trees, on the ground near the trees. And then right at the top we have the rock of Monaco, and the stands which are for the disabled people of Monaco. And on the tiny turret you can see this most amazing camera lens. Must be like the most expensive lens in the world. That's what they use to see the cars coming out of the Nouvelle Chicane and down the side of the port. Maybe we'll get up there one day, tomorrow. So, where were we? Anthony Noguez. Is that an apex or what? So you're coming up the hill. It comes back at itself like you wouldn't believe, and it dips down, and the camber's all wrong. Survive that, and you're doing well. So here we are back on the start straight. And this gives you a really good view of how straight the start straight is. Let's see if I can nip over the road. There's nobody around it. So if you come out to this side, all the way down there, grid, and somewhere down there, Sandoval. So normally, because of the way the curve is, you come off Noguez, stay close to the right, all the way down to where the trucks are, before you start letting it drift left to take Sandoval. I referenced the start of the video. So grid slot 26, we go all the way back to 30. Honestly not sure if any session has got 30 cars, but there you go. I guess always good to have some spares in case there's any late comers. And so the straight continues. The start continues. Let's call it the starting grid. Let's not call it the starting straight. Cleaning the racing line. He's going to be doing that all day. I think there's a couple of hours before anything actually happens on track. So it's 6:42 now. The track closes at 7:30 to the public, and sessions start a few hours after that. I think we've got the Formula 2s, Formula 3 qualifying, that sort of thing today. First Formula 1 practices, second Formula 1 practices, and oh, there's no Porsches. Cross over again. It's alright, there's no cars. This obviously is the back of the pits People put all the stuff they can't fit anywhere else. Spare floors. Lots of tyres. So I guess we're at Haas or Williams or somewhere like that. Ah, finally, a view of the podium. The Monaco podium. And there we are, back at pole position. So that was a less fraught trip around the Monaco circuit. But, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting. Hope you like the video. Click the little like button, and I hope you subscribe to the channel. I've done all sorts of stuff over the years about the Monaco Grand Prix. I've also got stuff on there about marathons, Ironmans, Marathon des Sables, all those sort of things. So my channel is quite varied. Take a look around, you might find something you enjoy. Anyhow, thank you for watching. See you next time.